that happened. Yo, let me tell you some wild stuff. Right before COVID, like my kids right now, my kids homeschool. They go to a virtual private school, and I was saying a year or two before COVID, because my son is very talented, but you know he also he embraced that early. But you know, boys, you know, having issues and stuff. But he don't like structure. You know what I'm saying? And he used to always be in school falling asleep in class. Like I'm talking about from like first grade, second grade. He decided that he ain't fucking with it. He just tuned out, or he would go leave the classroom. They'd be calling me like, your son's running around the hall and we can't find him. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. But
sounds like me.
Yeah. So you know what happened? Right. So what happens is that, you know, he starts to get a reputation that kind of becomes a manifest destiny thing, because now the adults have decided that he's a square peg.
You're a problem.
And all the holes are round.
Yeah.
Right. So then they would just be calling me for like crazy super fit. Like you know, you started to see that the attitude would change, because then they were starting to call me for little shit. Not I used to be like, yo, listen, if the motherfucker didn't set the building on fire, don't fucking call me because I'm fucking busy. Okay? So but I said to myself, you know what? I would love to put my children, and like I said, when I was younger, a lot of my frame of reference was built around the fact that I had this career that I created for myself as a young person, and I traveled. I did what I wanted. I created something for myself based on all of these, like, you know, like I said, I had all these little prompts, all these little keep going. And I said, you know what? Good information is transferable. That if I could do that with that particular talent or that particular time of my life, I could recreate that at any time that I want with whatever thing I focus on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I started to say, man, I want to put my kids in a school without walls. I just want to like kind of travel. I want them to have an unconventional lifestyle, and I want them to learn the things that I learned earlier than I learned it, to give them an advantage. I want to put it in the buffet for them and let them sample that early and figure out what life should really taste like. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then COVID came, and they had the homeschool, and I was like, man, I hope they keep this shit up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was the thing that I was envisioning, the school without walls. But it didn't exist. I didn't know what to call it, you know, COVID or online school or virtual, whatever the hell it was. It didn't really exist except in my mind. There was no template for it. So after COVID, and they was trying to send all of the kids back to school, I was like, first of all, my kids, I live in a multi-generational household. My kids are not going to be no guinea pigs. Nobody knows what they're doing. You know, I just didn't feel comfortable just throwing them back in. Plus, my husband is in Trinidad, and we have a home there. I want to be able to go back and forth as I please. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try to figure this out. And I kept looking for programs, and I don't know, at the last minute I found this one program, but it's basically what I wanted, right? Like, it's the school without walls. You know what I'm saying? And we found it. And my kids love it, right? Like I said, my kids are super smart. So they have an opportunity to embrace, you know, be on their own time, right? Their school experience is entrepreneurial, right? Because they can learn at their own pace as much as they can absorb. They can absorb.
That's
and
wild.
Honestly, it made my son doesn't fall asleep during the day anymore. But listen, it's homeschool. We flexible. If you're tired, you want to take a nap, we can take a nap. We get up a half an hour late, and fuck it, we get up a half an hour late. You know what I'm saying? And we just continue. We just go out a half an hour later. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, now we walk by. We live next door to an elementary school. So while the other kids in school, we might be taking a trip in the neighborhood, going to the store, doing the activity. And sometimes we go by the school during recess, and I'm like, yo, y'all want to go back to the building? I mess with them all the time because I know they don't. They be like, nah, I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? It's regular schmegular for them. Like I said, everything right now. Like, I'm just trying to teach them, like I said early, how do you create something for yourself? You could visualize something, and it may not exist when you visualize it. How do you build a castle in your mind and then make it tangible in the real world? You know what I'm saying? So for me, like I said, I've been able to crystallize that, repeat. Like I said, good information is transferable. If I found a method that works for me, and the method is the mindset, a mindset that works for me, how can I just reapply that and reapply that and reapply that to different situations and turn situations into what I want, right? Because, you know, you get used to a thing. You get used to, like I said, you walk into a warehouse and get free shit, or you know, I don't still necessarily do that, but it happens to me in other ways in my life where, like, I got a great client owns a Chick-fil-A, and I mentioned that, oh yeah, I want to go take my kid to a ball game. All right, so we got tickets. It's my first time ever going to a game, and then, you know, we in the box seats and we got the, you know, the fancy stuff. So a lot of times I'll just say something and it just kind of come to me. I'll be like, oh, I need X amount of dollars, you know what I'm saying? And then when I'm not expecting it, you feel like, oh, I want to do this, I'll do that, and, you know, something drop out the sky for me. You know what I mean? It's like I said, it's like sort of a mindset. And then, you know, the minute that you doubt yourself, and the minute that you doubt that it's possible, that's when that's when the mindset falls through. You know what I'm saying? So you have to just be doggedly persistent about creating your own reality and not worrying about whether you see that template already existing around you. Just decide what you want, and then you go about trying to get it. Sometimes it's, like I said, overnight success takes 10 years, right? It's not easy. You know, you might have to put the work in, and it takes you a long time, and you know what I'm saying? You put that work in, and it might take you a while to come to fruition, but it will come. You know what I'm saying?
Success takes 10 years.
I didn't make that up. That's what that's a popular thing. I've heard a few people say that. Yeah, overnight success takes 10 years. You don't see the struggle. Like, you know, like they talk about, the wife wasn't shooting in the gym with Kobe. That you see somebody successful, you see him on TV, all of the years of preparation and in the mindset. You gotta have a monster mindset.
Yeah,
right?
Facts.
To get to that success. And then also you know, some of the information that I fill my head with, like I like people like Grant Cardone. If whoever's listening, if y'all don't know who Grant Cardone is, fuck with Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone is crazy as shit. He's a super sales guy, but he got this mindset where you just don't quit. And I like that. He said he'd wake up every day and say, who got my money? You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. Every day you wake up and you come out with a killer mindset. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I'm a killer, I'm a monster. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'm human. I have days where I'm like, I don't feel like killing shit today, but you know, I'm a parent. If I don't go out and kill something, we don't eat. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, that's another way that my children kind of changed my mindset, right? And I know, like I said, I like being comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm out there seeking the comfort, right? I'm out there seeking the comfort, and I know I got to kill something every day. But yeah, my mindset is everything. Mindset is everything. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Mindset is everything. These are big facts. Yeah. Yo, you just dropped wild. I'm like,
turned
yo,
into like a master class.
Yeah, like I needed to hear that. Like I'm dead in the moment right now that I needed to hear that.
Like sometimes,
and I know that, but I needed to hear it. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody needs to be reinforced, because you gotta, like I said, it's an everyday thing, and you gotta keep telling yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you gotta keep telling yourself, don't quit, because nobody will do it for you. There's a lot of people that you know, that are stuck themselves. Right? You know, people you may love, people you care about, a lot of people that stuck themselves, and they don't have the wherewithal to pull you out the hole.
Yeah.
If you fall in the hole.
They don't got the tools, like you said, right?
They don't have the tools, man. They don't got the tools. You know what I'm saying? They can't pull you out the hole if you get in the hole. And that can't even be the mindset. Like, yo, that's how is that the mindset, that if you fall in the hole, you waiting for somebody to pull you out? I mean, I know that's what kind of people be thinking sometimes, like, you know, all that lean on me, or friends, or like all that friends. Like, I'm on that Rasputia shit. What I tell you about friends? You know what I'm saying? My Norbit shit. Like, you know, I'm like, if you get into the hole, you gotta pull yourself out the hole, man. Like, you know,
big facts.
You know, hopefully somebody does come along, and you know, like I said, I've had people tap me on the shoulder and help me, but even still, you know, there's a limit to that, right? Like, you get to certain levels, you get around successful people, you know, I don't care, you know, what you say. A lot of times, like especially living in New York, you got a lot of opulence around you all of the time. And people that don't have it, they look at people who got it and always think that they stole it from somebody, like they didn't work for it. You understand? Or you even talk about this 1% kind of conversation. And this is not me having a conversation where I'm trying to, you know, defend greedy people, because everybody who has money is not greedy. You understand?
No.
But they are driven. They are driven.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I feel like a lot of the successful people, as I said, if I got my opportunities, a person who ain't got it can't put you on. Only a person who is successful and has something to spare, right, can give you something, right? So just that whole ideology where, you know, like I said, people are greedy or, you know, they trying to hoard it. That's, you can kind of cut that out just at the bottom, because somebody who ain't got it can't give you anything.
Yeah.
And arguably,
they have nothing to give you because they got it. So you have to get something. Yeah, you got to get something from somebody that got it, right? So all of my opportunities that I've had, you know, a lot of them have been from people that have been successful and had looked at me and say, "Yo, you belong here." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna help you out, but I had to do work. I wasn't sitting at home waiting for it to fall out the sky. I had to go put myself in a place that I could be around people. I had to go where the people who got it go.
You had to go outside.
You know what I'm saying? I had to go outside, man. I had to go, but not just anywhere outside. Because sometimes you go outside, you're in the wrong place, especially in New York. Like I said, like you said, whatever you want, you could get here. You want to catch a bad one, you could catch a bad one too. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you want a blessing, you got to go where the blessings is at. You know what I'm saying? So, and I find that a lot of people that have, you know, or successful, or they're doing a lot of things. Like success is relative, right? Perspective, you know, everybody's success looks different. But people who are doing things are usually like, oh yeah, sure, yeah, you do this. They're very free with information or opportunities. Like you and I follow each other, Flacko, on social media. So I don't know if you saw, like, I just started doing a mentorship with Goldman Sachs, which is so far away from rap.
I think I saw that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got that referral from my client.
That's wild.
I'm his barber, right? So if he wanted to, you know, if he wanted to just think of me as like a barber, right, and put me in that box, he could have, right? But, you know, just like I said, you know, kind of person I am, places I go, kind of conversations I have or whatever with people. My clients, honestly, I joke all the time. I tell them they are my social life. I'm a party, but I have some magnificent conversations and I learn something every day. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, look, I was talking to him because I'm also back in school. I'm studying computer science. I did music. I flunked out of college multiple semesters because I was going on tour. I would go register for classes and something. When I went to France, the semester had just started. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of different stuff. People like, oh, you want to go here? And I'm like, absolutely. Fuck that school shit. I done fucked up so much financial aid under my mama's name. You know what I'm saying? Back when I was young and I was going to school or whatever, because that was what I was chasing. Like I said, now I'm a little bit older and my values have kind of shifted a little bit. I always like to learn, but you know, I was like my son. I didn't do well with structure.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I had like to make it for myself. I couldn't fit myself into somebody else's structure. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, my client had hit me up and was like, yeah, I was talking to him about things I'm doing because he works in the tech world. He used to work for Goldman, but he works for Facebook now. And, I don't know if he's listening. Hey guy, I'm not gonna blow up his name, but hey guy.
Shouts to him. Word.
Yeah. But anyway, so he was like, yeah, you can use my name. I'll call somebody for you. He told me about it and I just never saw myself, because you think about Goldman Sachs, you think, you know, it's a very successful company, like they're elite. They're like the best. They are a huge wealth incubator. You work for Goldman Sachs, they're gonna make you rich. You understand? So I just never saw myself in a place like that. So very like conservative and in corporate, even though I code switch pretty well. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, I wouldn't be shocked to find out that your code switch.
Yeah, so I code switch pretty well. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but like I said, I create what I want, so I don't necessarily have to. Right?
Hey.
I mean, that's the thing about the city, right? Is like it forces us to be different people in different rooms,
right?
And that's not a bad thing.
Different rooms, different areas, different parts of town, different vibes. You can float into whatever vibe you want. But he was like, yeah, you can use my name, you can do whatever, and I didn't. I started, you know, because I had to write like a little cover letter to get in, and I had versions of it that I wrote that I had his name in it, and or you know mentioned that I was referred by you know a former employee or what have you. But I never did. I just used my own thing and got in on my own merit. He's still telling me, listen, when you get to the end of the program, there's gonna be like a little interview, so like you just call me beforehand. I'm gonna tell you like. So I'll put you up on some lingo and, you know, just kind of things that you need to drop when you're having a conversation with them, right? Saying he had something extra to give me. It's a guy he had necessarily, I'm doing a service for him. He's paying me for that service. We're having our interaction. He had absolutely no reason. You know, we had a conversation, called me like a week or two later. He said, yeah, I was thinking about that conversation that we had. And I think you should, apply to that program because I look at the qualities and the successful people there. It's a great shop, great place to work. And he said they got these like, you know, these programs there. He was like, you should, while you're in school, he said you should go and check that program out and you know use me. You know what I'm saying? But then again, that's what I said. It's about your network, right? You got to be where the blessings are at. You can't be sitting around on the block, you know, or
opportunity doesn't come knocking at your home.
Nah, I mean, you know, you gotta go out. Like I said, you gotta go out and kill something every day. You gotta go out and you gotta talk to people. You gotta put yourself out there, and that also means, like I said, like me having been in a box or doing music, like I realized that I needed to work on different aspects of myself, right? Like I needed to be able to put my hand in different pots. I needed to come out of the idea, and I had to accept that I had a lot of different facets. I had different layers, and that it was okay for me to explore these things. I didn't have to just be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, the world was much bigger than that, and there was conversations happening in other rooms that I didn't even bother to go in. You know what I'm saying? I was in some great rooms having some great conversations. I mean, you can imagine you traveling all over the world, and like, you know, people are doing things for you. Like I said, just shit that I fell into on accident. You know what I'm saying? So now the next level was putting myself in these places on the next level and making that a conscious effort. You know, and it's still a process, right? Like I heard Justin Bieber talk about that the other day. He was saying that, you know, he got problems and people. He was talking about it from a little bit of a shallow point of view, talking about how, you know, people looking at him like, oh, you're rich and you're driving a Ferrari. And he's like, yeah, when I got that Ferrari, he said, yo, I was so hyped. People would get in the car and I was showing them the glove box, right? He was like, now I just think about like sometimes I drive and I'm like, yeah, I wish I had a different car, you know, because there's levels to this shit, right? He's like, yeah, I did that already. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's the same thing. It's like, you know, you get to a goal, but there's never an end level, right? Boss level is at an infinity number,
right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's at an infinity number. And you gotta keep trying to climb. It's like I said, you keep moving up the ladder and you go into all of these different floors. It's funny too, like if that book, famous book, Dante's Inferno, even the Quran, right? They talk about different levels of heaven, right? And how that world is almost like a mirror to this, where there's levels of preference. Right. And when I think of preference, you know, like I said, if you got a certain mindset, you might think that sounds terrible, but it's like to whom much is given, much is expected kind of thing. If you want it, if you're out there getting it, if you're out there pursuing, right? If you're out there actively leveling up, you start to kind of create a wave of preference for yourself, a favor, right? You create a wave, a bank of favor that you can withdraw from. You know what I'm saying? You can withdraw from it, and you could use it when you want. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
that's what
it's like treating opportunity almost like a muscle and training yourself to like build up to
absolutely
creating bigger.
That's
a great way to put it.
I don't hoard anything because I just feel like the more that I give out, the more that I'm helpful, the more that I let go of money, the more that I give to people, the more that I see that things come back to me. So like that's just been
that
like
is
just
fact. That is a
keep
fact.
on
I find
keep on putting out, keep on helping as much as I can, and it'll come back to me all in due time.
I find that the opposite thing kind of happens to me too. Like when I do something greedy, like even something small, if I'm in the subway and I find something that doesn't belong to me and I don't make an effort to return it to somebody and I keep it for myself, that I lose something. Like the next day, the next week, I find that it also goes in the reverse.